R59 of the A24 Binge. Friendship is a dark comedy about a marketing executive who's socially awkward and wants to be friends with his neighbor, but is struggling so bad to do so. Before I get to this review, leave a follow more film content. I was a little familiar with Tim Robinson as a comedian, but I've never really watched any of his shows. So in any regard, this is actually my introduction to Tim Robinson in this movie, which I would say he was really good at selling this socially awkward person that just creates a lot of cringe humor that is quite insane. Which I would say that the cringe humor in this is such an extreme level that it really makes movies like Jackass or Borat or Bruno just tame comedies in comparison. Chemistry he has with Paul Rudd does lead to a lot of effective moments that was pretty interesting to see how it unfolds, and yet it leads on to these crazy endeavors going on. There's even a moment that goes into abstract or surreal humor that involves a hallucination involving a subways that actually was very funny, that I wish the movie dives more into that type of humor. Because I would say that the cringe humor in this was a little too cringe for me to handle, that I was just kind of struggling at points physically. And I know that's actually the point of it, and that's why I don't hate this movie, but I would say this was not an easy watch. Because I know that if I watched this with my girlfriend, she would just leave out of the theater and say it's probably one of the worst films she's ever seen. Which I wouldn't blame her, because there are cringe humor throughout this film that does have some good humor, but then there's just other humor that I'm just like, this is just a little too much for me. There are moments where the jokes are a little predictable just because of what it's establishing, and it keeps going back to it, and I'm just like, okay, where's the payoff here? And when it gets to that, you're just like, okay, there it is, because it's taking a while to get there. You can also say that there are some effective character study in this movie in terms of loneliness, maybe the male loneliness epidemic, or any other stuff. Maybe I should have been more prepared for Tim Robinson's style humor by watching this show before watching this, but I still think that Friendship is a decent film that I definitely felt like I had somewhat of a good time watching this, despite the fact that I was just physically cringing throughout the film. I give this film a 6 out of 10. If you like this review, leave a like, favorite, and follow more film review content.